Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Joe Fame coming out with you a brand new video. Today we're going to talk about the Akai MPC, and is the MPC 3000 the best drum machine of all time? I don't know. We're going to dive into it right after this quick intro. So I came across this article by Audio Drive stating that the Akai MPC 3000 is the best drum machine of all time. The Akai MPC 3000 is a classic and legendary sampler that has been around from the early 90s and has been very popular with music genres such as hip hop, R&B, and even house music. And there was the 3000 classics, there was a 3000 LE, there were so many models of the MPCs, from even the MPC 60, which they also compared to the MPC 3000. There's the Renaissance. There's so many MPCs that was over the time and over the course. Now we all know about the new MPC Live X and One. But basically, this article is saying that the classic released in 1994 as a step up from its predecessor, the MPC 60, and then the later MPC 60 Mark II, which was retail coming underneath $4,000 in the early 90s, which is crazy, which is a little over $7,000 today's money. But it was clear that the machine was meant for professional studios and intended to be a tool for music applications. Now we can get a more at an affordable price, which I guess is a good thing. The LE is a limited edition that was released only in 2000, where there was only individual numbers. They only made a couple of units that was made. I believe only 1,400 units has been released to the public, so I guess it's kind of more of a rare unit. But I know you can still pick it up secondhand, but they still go pretty pricey. It had the whole displays and only 3.5-inch disk drive, and the power requirements was about 60 hertz, 40 watts. It had some good sounds. History of the MPC 3000, which we're going to talk about right now, and just a little bit more about the history of MPC 3000, which I found pretty interesting in this article, because it states that in 1980, Roger Lynn designed and released the world's first drum machine that used samples called the LM-1 under its own company, Lynn Moffett Electronics, with then partner Alex Moffett. I don't know if I'm saying their name right. Eventually, Lynn Electronics went out of business, and the next chapter would be Roger Lynn and Akai Professional linking up to create new products. The collaboration was a good fit because Akai needed a creative designer, and Roger Lynn wasn't a fan of the manufacturing aspects of the business. So in 1988, they would release the Akai MPC 60 and later follow the updated MPC 60 Mark II in 1994. In 1994 came the release of the MPC 3000, celebrated the upgrade from the MPC 60 line. So what is the difference between the MPC 60 versus the MPC 3000? Well, the MPC 60 was 12-bit audio, MPC 3000 was 16-bit audio. MPC 60 has 750 kilobytes of stock memory, expandable to 1.5 megabytes. The MPC 3000 has 2 megabytes of stock memory, expandable up to 32 megabytes. So the MPC 60 only had a single mono sampling input, while the MPC 3000 has dual stereo inputs. So MPC 60 has no filters, while the MPC 3000 comes equipped with a low pass filter. Both sound slightly different from each other. Some prefer the 60, others prefer the 3000. So Roger's Lynn vision, I guess, was for a drum machine that could be revolved around grooves, a drum machine that had great groove in it. So he wanted to be simple and be able to record exactly what he threw at it. They required the timing to be super tight in the MPC 3000. He wanted to make sure that all details were figured out for this on the back end and result as a machine that grooves perfectly. Roger Lynn did do an interview regarding this and how he put it together, so you could always check that out. Just Roger Lynn talking about the Akai MPC 3000. Hip-hop took immediate kinship to the machine. Early notable users were producers like DJ Quick, Battlecat, Dr. Dre, of course, and Jay Dilla. The creation of Drug Machine Sampler ushered in innovation to musical art forms that was previously based around two turntables. The innovation of sampler elevated the art form to a new frontier. Roger Lynn himself has said that he did not anticipate this reaction and how big it got. What's really interesting is how Jay Dilla's work was basically inspired by the MPC 3000. He basically mastered the MPC 1000 with the grooves, turned off the quantized settings during a time when literally everybody was relying on quantized for electronic music. He approached the MPC 3000 like a drummer would, and he turned it into basically an offset and added some swing and added some style, which became really popular when it came to creating music. It became so popular. Obviously, we all know Dr. Dre. He did his whole album, which I found really interesting, back in 1999, the Chronic 2001 album. And basically I didn't know that he used 4 to 5 different MPC 3000s at one time just for the creation of the album, so he can avoid the drawbacks of using disk and memory. And he shared that during his time, beats were laid down with the drums in the 3000 first, and everything else was resolving around that. So it's pretty interesting. Another interesting fact about the MPC 3000 is that there are no visual waveforms. You chop up on the MPC 3000 with numbers, edit in the start and end time of samples with numeral digits. Others would argue that you can chop by individually sampling each chop. There is no EQ or effects in MPC 3000, only a low pass filter and attack, decay, and delay. You can only cut 2 other pads per pad. Compare this with the modern drum machines that we have out today, where you can apply choke groups, etc., and cut off of any pads. So yeah, compared to what it was back then to what we have now, there's so much more we could do on the new MPCs. But they're saying, why is the MPC 3000 the best drum machine of all time? I guess they put it plainly that it's the simplicity of the machine. So the main overall why they think the 3000 is the best, because basically Roger Lynn just still thinks it's the best he ever created. And I guess the 3000 was the step to what we have out today, from the timing, from the groove of the samples that you could create, the sounds that were implemented into the MPC and how they were just so amazing. The low end on the MPC is just amazing. The workflow is super easy to navigate through, the dials, the punch-ins, the build quality, heavy duty, even the tools are built in from the attack and the decay. Even though they were minor tools, it was still great to have. Control dive about 1,000 ticks, I should say. Akai has a history that they cherish filters and their samplers and other products. The MP3000 low pass filter is no exception, so great low pass filter. Basically, that's what they're saying. These main features that they started building on a 3000 was basically the milestone of what Akai Professional could be. And just so much, I guess, they took from that and implement into the other MPCs that they created over times, such as the Renaissance and all the ones that came after 4, and now even a new series. But what do you guys think? Do you think the MPC 3000 is the best drum machine of all time? That's what I want to know. Let me know down in the comments. Which MPC are you rocking? Which one's your favorite MPC? Are you using a new generation of MPCs? Are you still old school with the old MPCs? As growing up, I never used an MPC. I was more old school, with the mouse and the clicking. I guess during that time, I never really was big into music production. I guess in the 90s, I was more of like a wannabe rapper. So I guess I was more focused on writing lyrics and writing rhymes and just writing poetry and stuff like that, writing novels, anything creative writing wise. So I never really got into the music production until later on in life. And that's why the new MPC, my MPC X, I don't know, it's like my new favorite toy. Still learning it, so I'm still kind of confused because I never really grew up with the MPC. So for me, it's still a lot of learning tools that I'm just getting down, but I love it. So I mean, for me, my MPC X is, I guess, my favorite MPC because it's my first MPC that I ever owned and ever had. So I guess I can't really relate to anything else, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. Yeah, I hope you guys like this one. Make sure you stick around because I'm gonna do a lot of different stuff regarding the MPCs, and probably more about the down products as well and Akai in general. And I think I'm going to start focusing my channel more around this. But if you'd like me to talk about something else or something else that you enjoy me doing, if it's regarding something else, just let me know. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out. Peace.